not in the game yet, but I hope I'll get... Oh, nope, my Hearthstone crashed.
Oh no, please.
Oh boy.
I need you.
And here I was like, yeah, production is failing, and then... Okay,
It's your internet and then your Hearthstone, so...
Okay, so you can
like,
do the commentary for now.
Yeah, well, like, actually, their mulligans look very similar. They just have a lot of spells. They're throwing some away.
Okay, do we see wonky secrets with one of them? Or like...
Not yet. See the glyph in Narra's hand. So, that's a giveaway.
A glyph away?
Oh, God. That's my task, please. MJ, let me be. I'm just waiting for you. And actually, maDe has the wonky secret dude. And
yeah, that's
Narra.
kind of what I expected. Like, if you ban Paladin, you're probably going to
have wonky things.
Have aggressive decks. And here we see the perfect curve for Narra so far. Like, playing the mana worm turn one's pretty good. Oh yes, there's wonky secret dude number 1. And there's probably more to come. So its name is actually Cabal Crystal Runner. So it's like running away with crystals, and it's cheaper when you play more secrets. I don't really understand that connection, but sure. I think it's a thief, though.
This is keen. What would you take? Because of course you take the portal. Maybe you had the...
Oh, and there's the wonky secret dude number 2. Out of 3.
And he already has the valet as well, so it's gonna go all
there's a
nice
secret. Or a Kabbalist Tome. For more secrets.
Wouldn't you go for a tome? Like, more cards.
So.
Fun. It's not like that Barry is gonna do that much for you, because there isn't like a mana worm going along that might annoy you to some extent.
Yeah, he went for the Kabbalist Tome, and I like it because the chance that you get a secret from it is rather large. Oh, there's a mana bind there. That's pretty good in this situation if he can play it, and he can, of course, because it's only 1 mana. So if maDe decides to play the Kabbalist Tome here, Narra gets a free Kabbalist Tome in hand, and that's so good. And I think he will play it because he wants that secret combined with the Lackey. Or Primordial Glyph, but free Primordial Glyph is pretty good as well.
Yeah, because then you can also get a Kabbalist Tome, so it's whatever you want.
Okay, so he's like, well, I can't play the Kabbalist Tome because if it's Counterspell, then that's too expensive for me. So I'll play the Glyph and hope it's not Counterspell. And while it wasn't, it's still painful to see your Glyph copied and be 0 mana for your opponent. And here we'll see the Firelands Portal. Yeah. It's not Counterspell, he tested for it, so...
Ooh.
That's rather good, actually.
Yeah, it's quite big, especially as there is no Fireball in the hands of maDe so far. Who will throw out Sorcerer's Apprentice, do 3 damage, then kill it with a Frostbolt, so actually having to invest quite a little bit, but gaining some board.
But this is very painful for maDe, because maDe has a very quick deck. However, it's not being quick at the moment because he just doesn't draw his secrets. He didn't draw his mana worm. It's hard to get on board like this. Face seems like a bad idea.
Yeah, you want to kill that apprentice before there's gonna get too much value coming out of it, but he actually kills the valet.
Yeah, and then he's probably going to like Frostbolt the apprentice as well. But if he plays a glyph now, then he misordered because he should always play the glyph first. He already knew that the secret wasn't Counterspell because it was a blast turn as well. So he shouldn't play the glyph this turn. The glyph, of course, not gif.
The gif.
Okay, so here we see the Kabbalist Tome and no secret. That's very disappointing for maDe because if he got the secret, he could play the Cabal Lackey into the secret, into the Crystal Runner, and now he can't. Like, now his turn is shite.
I can already see the facial expression of maDe, very disappointed almost to the point of sadness. Because it's just, he doesn't get what he wants whenever he wants it, and then if he has something, Narra just has an answer for it. There, Narra actually picks up 2 ice blocks, which isn't ideal, but, well, it's something.
It's better than having no ice blocks.
Yes, indeed. It's better than dying, hello.
And here, oh, of course, he just played the secret, so maDe doesn't really want to play the the Firelance Portal here because he's afraid it might be counterspell. Yeah, this matchup is very weird because both these sides are probably playing counterspell, so you have to be very important and have to make a lot of suboptimal plays just to check for the secrets every time.
You know, I was actually like, should I ice block to see if it's a counterspell, but just goes in with the fireball anyway. Would you then primordial glyph, or what would you do?
He decided not to play primordial glyph last time. I think I'll just play an ice block to threaten the counterspell once again.
But would you then still use a glyph as well? Because why wouldn't you?
No, because he didn't play it last time either. So why would you all of a sudden play it this time?
That's a good call. It still is fancy though.
It's still like, okay, now he's going to play the arcane missiles. Oh, he's not. He's like, okay, it's not counterspell. It's definitely not counterspell. I would have played the arcane missiles first here.
Yeah, just to check if anything might have been wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And now we probably see maDe coming out. Or not. Now there's the primordial glyph.
Yeah, because he doesn't... Oh, that's a very good pickup, actually. And
that's
he might play that above the maDe.
I would say, yes, you clear already. Together with Mana Worm, you actually get some... a little bit of board presence as well. And there comes the Meteor, clearing the board in favor of Narra. Again, getting a fancy answer to whatever maDe throws out.
And there is the third wonky secret dude. I like the name.
Yeah.
So
6 with you.
But no secrets. So there's still like 4 secrets in his deck, and 2 Arcanologists which draw secrets for you. Very unlucky for maDe so far.
Yes, and there comes maDe, just to get some extra stuff whenever he throws out a big spell. Of course, has used on Portal already, which you usually want to combine with that AT-ish, or however you pronounce it.
A chess? A tash?
A chess, yeah.
A chess? I think a chess. A chess.
Staff thingy.
The staff.
Yes.
I like it. So he still has a staff. He could Power Blast here for a 10 mana minion. You can get Deathwing. Or what other 10 mana minions are there? Yogg, Nuzlocke, Cthulhu. Cthulhu is pretty bad though. Like you get a 6/6.
Probably the weakest out of all of them. So I'm curious what will happen.
I think he'll just play some minions.
Sad. I just want to see the big guys, you know. Go
Well,
all out. Unless if maDe has like some polymorph in there just to attack and be like, haha.
this game is so unlucky for maDe, and then at the same time I'm like, well, but this happens all the time when I play this deck, so it's not just not lucky. I think there's too many things you have to draw in the early game, and there's finally something that draws a secret for him.
And a Flame Strike as well, probably to clear everything out. Together with a wonky secret dude.
Is he going to Flame Strike? Yeah, I think so. Yep, there it is.
Just to buff that a little bit more and actually get some board in favor, just to work down that HP and maybe get your way into a lethal turn. But the Flame Strike of Narra will actually be huge here, together with the unpronounceable spell.
The Flame Strike. That's such a great pickup. And he's like, okay, is it Mirror Entity? And yes, it is Mirror Entity. So now it's like, okay, that's not counterspell. I win this game. And we'll see maDe concede, I think, right now.
4/6 on the Curator. And yeah, maDe has definitely nothing to deal with it right now, and I don't think he has anything to deal with it in the next few turns.
Which would, of course, mean that Narra will pick up the first game. And this is a match that also happened last season, where Narra won 3-1. So he's going for the replicate of that, like a copy of that score.
Yeah. We do see Narra winning the first matchup, of course, the Mage Mirror. After Narra had just like, whenever maDe had something, you're like, oh, he can actually maybe get back into this. Nope.
There was no chance. You have to pressure him early, pressure him a lot, force his ice block on like turn 6 or 7, and then you have a chance. But as it went, Narra actually pressured harder than maDe, and it was a impossible mission for maDe to win this game.
Never say never, though. That's what my idol Justin Bieber once said. And we do
Only
see
once?
Yeah, I don't know. I heard there was a movie about it, and I was just too scared to ever look it up. We do see Narra now going for the Druid, which seems to include some Jades.
Yeah, so we actually played this specific matchup before we went live. We played each other for a bit. And then I won. I was the mage, he was the druid. I was favored, and it showed. I'm also the better player, so maybe that kind of had something to do with it.
And I had the best draws as well. Like, for the first 5 turns, I had no Jades to play, which is sort of part of what you need to do when you play this deck. And I also had no Wild Grove, so I was just so sad. We do see maDe getting to a slightly rough start as well.
So once again, maDe has a very tough start. The Arcanologist pickup is good, but it's still not what you're looking for. While Narra has a very explosive start. He has the Jade Blossom. He'll be on 3 mana next turn, which means he can coin out the Jade Spirit. And once again, like here he draws the secrets, but not the Lackey or the 4/3 other secret, wonky secret dude.
He's actually going for the 3/3 to possibly clear it 2/3 and then getting some board control just to pressure that a little bit more. And keeping the coin in hand for maybe some draws with the auctioneer, or...
No, I think you keep the coin in hand because you can curve like this as well, and because you can trigger a counterspell with the coin. Oh, that's a great draw, and that's another great draw. He can play both his secrets next turn.
And so many wonky guys as well, it's amazing.
Yeah, now he gets both of them, right? So, like, this was important.
Yeah, but we do see Narra with some things on board which can't be cleared as of yet by maDe. As you said, the secrets will probably come out with the Cabal, Lackey, and Kirin Tormage.
Okay, so the play that I expect here is like Cabal, Lackey into Mirror Entity, and then Kirin Thor on the 2/3. Or not Kirin Thor, I mean maDe's Valet on the 2/3 to pressure his board, to pressure Narra's board as well. And that is not the play he's going for, but it's close. Like, this does pretty much the same. And it's good that he didn't play the counterspell, because maDe also knows that Narra still has the coin in hand. So here he uses the coin to check if it's counterspell, which it is not, and then he's like, okay, it's not counterspell.
That's
now I can't check it again with the coin. Yeah, this is a great play by maDe.
Ooh. Not really what he was banking for. Maybe would have preferred to have an Inner Fate as well, just to get that in hand as well. And see, so far, not much Narra can do.
I see that the stream says Denner versus maDe, and apparently, no, it's not. But it will be fixed rather soon. Like, it should be fixed now. And of course, it is maDe versus Narra.
Yes, the Legends of Amcon. Now the counterspell comes out. maDe's Valet does 3 damage to clear the Jade Spirit. It was slightly buffed up by the Earthen Scales. And now a Wrath will come out to clear the 4/3. But, unfortunately for Narra, that will be counterspell. So he might actually have to sink in a swipe.
Which clears the board. So I doubt I think he's pretty happy with that. And we see the Primordial Drake in hand for Narra, and that's such a painful card to go up against for maDe, because it's very hard to deal with it. Yeah, we see the Sorcerer's Apprentice first, then the Arcane Intellect to get value. and hopefully something he can play like a maDe Valet. Yeah, you play it because you want to get on board, even though you kind of waste a battle cry.
Still, all the armor of Narra is now gone, whilst he is getting closer and closer to that primordial drake. Well, it will do much now.
This is such an awkward turn for Narra, because he's like, okay, I know it's Mirror Entity, so what can I play? I can't really play the Druid of the Claw, but he can play the Dark Reaper, which he does.
Which gets Mirror Entity, so quite decent for me to have that little beefy dude hanging around as well. Would you throw in a fireball to clear it, or?
Definitely Firelance Portal.
Oh, wait, I didn't see you could play that as well, I'm sorry. I'm blind.
You see, Narra attacked the 2/3 to put it on 2 HP because he has the Drake in hand. And now they both die against the Drake. Very well played by Narra.
Yes, indeed, and he still has some spells to work with next round as the Auctioneer. But now Primordial Glyph.
Polymorph, that's actually really good.
And he does up to go for it. Gets away that stupid little Drake. Throws out a wonky dude without a spell in hand. And some more damage has been done by maDe, bringing Narra now on only 18 HP.
He has the swipe though, so like swipe hero power, Jade Blossom is pretty good, I guess. And then from next turn on, you can try to to stabilize.
It
doesn't go for the hero power, it goes for the more defensive play, but will get a fireball to the, what's it called, Druid of the Claw. I should have known that card is ancient.
Yeah. Come on, man, step it up. Ooh.
Another
Mirror.
secret, that's pretty good actually, because we've only seen one counter spell yet and one mirror entity, so Narra doesn't know what it is yet. There have already been 2 swipes. So this board is very stable and hard to deal with.
And it's actually quite strong as well. There is his first Jade Idol, something you would rather have somewhat early on. But of course Narra had a Inner Fate to work with as well. And now he's actually like, would I throw it up just to see if it's a counter spell to combine it with my Gadgeton? But I'm also scared to use my Gadgeton because maybe it's a mirror entity.
This is such an awkward position.
Now he knows it's not a counter spell, so it must
be mirror entity. Which also means that he won't play the Gadgeton this turn and will probably just armor up with the Feral Rage.
Yeah, get that +8 going.
Weird card name though. It's called Feral Rage, but you can gain 8 armor from it. But that's not very ragey, is it? It's more like Feral Control.
Yeah, well, in a sense it is. You can also deal 4 damage, get your guy buffed up, especially if
that's more ragey.
Especially if you have the legend guy that gives you both. I always forget.
Decides not to attack and leave the 1/1 alive. That's interesting.
I think he was scared about taking damage. Possibly for a Pyroblast or something.
Yeah, well, he knows maDe is not running Pyroblast in this deck. I'm pretty sure he does. So what can we do this turn being maDe? You play both cards, that's for sure. However, I'm not entirely sure if you're going to Frostbolt ping the 4/4 and then leave the 3/3 alone and just go face, or do you go face with everything and hope you win? Seems like that's the play he's going to go with.
This is more Toldusma move, so I think...
this is more the Smork move, I'd say.
Yeah. Because he has learned it from the best, Kappa. But
another Feral Rage, that's devastating for maDe. However, that's also everything that Narra can do this turn.
Yep, he can't clear with his face, so he has to sink in 1 Jade if he wants to get clear from that threat. And then will most likely kill the 4/2 as well, because I don't really think the Sorcerer's Apprentice has much value unless if there's like a big draw. But we'll see. Time will tell. He's thinking about it. Throws out
Decides to drop it because he knows he can deal with it if it's mirror entity. And he needs the card draw, so now he's going to trade the 3/3. Oh, that's a great card to get.
Yeah, but he already used one, so
Yeah, but
now he
in
has
this
no
case,
trade.
you don't have to go for the long game. If you can stabilize here, you win. However, this is like 13 damage, right? So
There's the free Cabal Crystal Runner.
and it's 12 damage.
Well, you're getting close, and then which you now maybe
You have
trade
to
would
go
you go?
full face, in my opinion. Yeah, and that's what maDe decides as well. He's like, okay, I've seen all your armor, and there's pretty much nothing you can do
Ooh, and they're stunned.
except for that.
And he can clear the 5/5 as well by trading it in. So I think that Narra is actually, despite being on low health, getting in a.
Because there's one more fireball and one more violence portal for maDe.
Yeah. So
And
he has to
besides
attack.
that, there's also one more primordial glyph and one more frostbolt.
So
Quite a lot of outs.
for the insta lethal, it's 2 out of 10 chance. Because he has 10 cards left, and Narra has exactly the same.
I think frostbolt's insta leave as well, right?
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh no, it's not. It's like
Yes,
super
hero
close.
power.
Yeah.
Oh, of course, he hero powers himself and then armor.
No, frostbolt is lethal. Because you can frostbolt to 3/6 and then trade and then go face.
Oh, but Narra actually going to trade in.
Still lethal. Doesn't matter. I like this play. And that's the frostbolt top deck actually. So that means that it's 1-1 and maDe picking up the win with his mage deck in a, according to me, pretty favorite matchup for the mage. So I guess maDe's pretty happy with this. If he lost this, then he would have been in real trouble.
Would have been very, very salty, I imagine. And that means that maDe only has the Paladin and Warrior left. Whereas Narra is still on the Druid and Rogue. So we'll see how that turns out. Do you think there's any favored matchup between those classes?
Yeah, Warrior will own Rogue because it's Biot Warrior, and the Rogue is very probably Quest Warrior. Quest or Bedoelik. However, the Paladin versus Rogue will be slightly tougher because if there's Hungry Crabs in Narra's deck, then it will be very hard for maDe.
So actually, Narra's just outbrained maDe, or as he's called that from maDe. We do see somewhat wonky starting hand.
This is a pretty good starting hand for Narra and a decent starting hand for maDe. He'd like to drop the next turn. Oh, that's a good draw.
We can also do hero power. Unfortunately, it will get cleared.
I think Narra will either hero power or play the novice, because you're probably going to bounce the Firefly in this case, which means that you don't need the novice to bounce, and then seems good. But the obvious play here would be hero power. And we also saw this matchup last series, of course, where Denner took it in the end with the Paladin in a very close game.
Indeed, and Narra's just building up the tension, thinking long and hard about what to do. So many possibilities, as a certain hero would say.
Which one?
I always
Warlock?
forget.
I think Warlock.
Warlock it is.
So yeah, it's definitely Warlock.
No, nobody plays Warlock anymore, so that's why I don't remember.
I was like, so many possibilities. Yeah, that's cool, Dan. That's definitely cool, Dan. And yeah, here we see the weapon as expected. Oh, that's a great pickup. So now he could be very aggressive and play a tight collar coin hero power. But that's very much telegraphing what he has in his hand. Like that's like, yeah, I have a war leader. What you gonna do about it?
Well, there isn't much that Narra can do right now. Even if he would pick up a Doomsayer with the war leader, you'd buff it up so big that there's not much Narra can do.
And I'm pretty sure Narra doesn't run the Doomsayer list because he runs these guys, which is the Biolfin Tidehunter, And they too can win you games versus aggro, because if you can spawn a 5/5 taunt every time you play that minion, and you bounce it, and then you get another 5/5 taunt, that's insane.
I can understand that. He clears the 1/1, of course, expecting that war leader to come out relatively soon, and there it is.
Okay, so yeah, the question here is, can maDe pressure enough to get the rogue down before the quest is done? And it
Ooh.
seems like it will be very hard, because there's the second Firefly top deck.
So you can actually now bounce to have the 4th Firefly in hand.
Yep, I think that's what he's going to do as well. And then Narra is like, yeah, I have to get Wind Fury from my Mega Sword to win this game.
You mean maDe?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. So if maDe gets a Wind Fury, is that game? Is it like 6, 12, 22? That's one off, but then he has the Consecration the turn after, so that's pretty much game.
Well, if he believes in the heart of the Megasaur, it might work out.
I hope he does. Maybe he goes for the greedy play.
He's building up the tension, though. It's like, gonna do it or not? Actually, Narra hasn't played into...
oh, there's Wind Fury. That's game.
Would you say that's actually the only way maDe could have won the game versus Narra, already going so quick, so fast towards that quest?
Yeah, I think Narra played it perfectly, and he was just unlucky that the start of maDe rivaled his own, where the start for an aggro deck is way more important in this case, because the rogue is unfavored, so you have to kind of draw poorly with the aggro deck to lose. And maDe just drew fine, so... and got the Wind Fury. There was still a chance, because Narra drew fine as well, but not anymore.
And Narra's actually trying to consider a possibility to get out, not knowing that the Consecration is already in the hand of maDe. I don't really think Narra runs anything. He probably doesn't have a heal or a ice block, so... yeah, I don't know what he's thinking about. Maybe just taking his time, preparing himself for the next match, as maDe is pretty secure of having that 2-1 lead right now. Tension rising.
He's like, is there still an out for me? And I don't think there is, but maybe there is. Like, this is a good card to get. You can clear the war leader, you can clear something else, but no. Decides he's done with this game.
Yeah.
And the next, like, maDe only has warrior left, and seeing this lineup, I'm 100% certain that it's Pirate Warrior, which means that the rogue that's a matchup where the rogue is very unfavored, and even the druid will have trouble facing the Pirate Warrior. I guess the chance that maDe wins this series is like rather high. I think something like 75-80%. However, of course, he might lose twice, and Narra chose the better matchup first, like the druid. Some people decide to go with the worst matchup first, because they're like, well, I have to win with this deck anyway, so might as well play it now. I don't like that. I always play the better matchup first to get the mental advantage. Like, if you're 2-2, then it's always better than being behind.
And you were right, it is indeed a Pirate Warrior.
I am.
This time Narra actually has a very, very nice start for a Jade Druid. Gets a Jade Idol, has a Wild Growth, has an Innervate as well. So he can go a lot of ways if he wants to.
I agree and I disagree. Like, see, just look at the start of maDe. Next turn he plays 2 Dread Corsairs, gets the 1-1 as well, and then the turn after he plays the South Sea Captain. That's just insane. This is actually a pretty smart play by Narra. He's like, okay, so the worst thing that can happen is that he gets on board. What's the best way for me to counter him being on board? Oh, getting on board myself.
Indeed, but there comes Patches as well, of course. Shouldn't forget to attack with that, as most people, me, do.
Yeah, Ghost Phase, I like it. I think you shouldn't go phase with the weapon here, because you don't have another weapon yet. This is fine. Yeah, I like it. And that's the Jade Blossom. That's a pretty good pickup, I'd say. I'm
Yeah, it
not sure if
gives
it's
you
good
that.
enough, but
Well, it gets you somewhere. You have a 2/2 on the board, gets you another mana crystal, and with the Vendorel Stag Helm, you can clear one of the Dread Corsairs. Oh, and there's actually a second weapon picked up as well.
this is tricky for mate. Like I'd play the South Sea Captain, but there's something to say for playing the Frothing.
Yeah, like you can stack it up, but then you're also scared you're in the territory of a swipe. So yeah, he just wants to build a bit more board, so he's sort of out of swipe range. Now a double Wild Growth from Narra getting on 8 mana next turn already, and another charge being picked up by maDe. Would you now throw up the Frothing to maybe bait a swipe, or do you not really care because you already have so much beefy stuff on the board which Narra can't really counteract?
There is no baiting when you play Pirate Warrior. You just
Everything is good. Oh, and there's
much.
a Primordial Drake just a
Slightly
tad too late.
But seems like this is over, and this was the better matchup for Narra.
So that's sad. Yeah, even with Moral Strike as well, Fiery War Axe in hand. This surely means lethal, and that means maDe actually takes out his teammate 3-1 and staying unbeaten.
Aggro is still good, guys. I like it.
I hope someone would have followed that last week, because then it just took bloody ages before the games would finish. And,
well, now we already had two matches in like 1.5 hours, which is
wow,
really
that's insane.
Fast for us. So let's see what LB Dutch Boy and Vortex will be bringing next. So we'll have a quick break first. Hopefully production has everything in order, but I believe they do. And then we'll see you in a bit.
See you soon.